how's your view changed over the last few weeks, given what we've seen with more appetite for risk in the market?
Good morning, Jeff. Well, I believe that Yellen underlined yesterday a very fundamental issue in the markets, which is that there is no issue in the credit supply. It's rather the credit demand which is the issue. And that needs to be upped. This appetite for investing, both on the corporate and on the private sector, needs to be motivated rather than to be talked down. And that is exactly what she did yesterday by underlining the international risks out there. I think that is really the failing key in order to make the global economy grow much faster than this, let's say, muddling through low growth, low inflation environment. However, we do see a bit of a pickup in the leading indicators, which are very selectively. But I believe the good aspect of Yellen yesterday is the dollar. Dollar going down is clearly good for global growth, it's good for commodities, and it's good for emerging markets where the growing consumers are, and they seem to have a bit less of an issue to spend. So that could pull the global growth up. So all in all, we are a bit more optimistic, but still cautious on geopolitical risks out there, and mainly in Europe.
I just want to mention in passing, we've got a very positive quote on Metro, the German retailer, at this point, as the company has announced that it's going to cleave itself into two operations. There will be a listing of the other business, and Premier also higher here on the news of an increased bid from McCormick, the American spice business. Bruno, to what extent is there opportunity in event-driven investing at this point? Both of these are examples of companies that are taking corporate actions, perhaps previously unforeseen by the market, but which are clearly positive for investors.
Well, structurally, I believe that a lot of companies are sitting on a lot of cash. Cash is almost yielding nothing and is taking their margins down, so they need to do something with it. The question, of course, and the tricky part is, who do you go for? Do you go for the predator or do you go for the prey? Clearly, the prey is the one to have, but it's very tricky to filter out those specific targets. Clearly, this restructuring that's almost started in 2000 seems to be a never-ending story. But I think the good aspect of it now is that it is cash being put at work. Specific sectors, technology, I believe, is one of the sectors that has a lot of cash at hand, and one will see a lot of M&A activity in that field. And of course also the defensive, which have built up a lot of cash and have still the corporate spending power on the financial markets.